Okay, let's start it. I'll offer you this tuning in exercise that's inspired by Sarah Payton's meditations. And basically, all that I invite you to do is to notice your inner states and how the body feels and you breathe in. And it will be like a detailed walkthrough. I invite you to place yourself comfortably. For a lot of people, it helps to close their eyes, to focus inwardly. You don't have to do it, and if it doesn't feel safe or comfortable, don't do it. But if it's comfortable, I invite you to do it. And if it's not comfortable, then maybe just lower your eyelids so that we have more of an inner focus visually as well. And I invite you to breathe in and breathe out. And I invite you to notice your feet on the floor or any other surface. And notice the sensation of the surface supporting your feet. And we can come back to this sensation at any point when we lost any way or we lost any other body sensations or the sensation of our breathing. This is a place where we can come back to. As you're noticing your feet on the floor or any other surface, I invite you to breathe in and breathe out. And notice your breathing. Notice how the air touches your nostrils. Maybe you can notice it going through your sinuses and your throat and your lungs. Maybe you can notice it expanding your diaphragm, moving your lower ribs. If it's a new exercise, it can be not easy to notice that, in which case another option I invite you to do is just to put your hand on your lower ribs or hands on your lower ribs. As you're breathing in and out, notice this sensation of your hand going up and down under you with your breathing. And as you're breathing in and out, I invite you to imagine yourself in a big empty space. It might be a room, it might be, an outdoor space like a garden or a meadow or a clearing in the forest, or your favorite place at the beach. It can be whatever, large open space. As you imagine it, I also invite you to imagine the timeline running alongside you, and if a timeline had like markers, the one next to you would be, say, November 2020. And I invite you to imagine it running forward towards the future, towards 2021, and running backward towards, the moments that you've lived through this year, through the moments of lockdown and pandemic and whatever else that has gone on for you. And as you are noticing it, I invite you to notice, is it like doable to look back? Again, I invite you to remember that it's a choice. If it's very hard, if it's like gives you a lot of dread, we can just work with it. You can do a tangle on that experience. That's like even impossible to look back there, and that's a part of the human experience that happens. And if it's undoable, I invite you to stay, just notice those body sensations that come up. And notice what body parts they're in, and notice if there's any words that come with it, feelings or needs. And if it's kind of doable, if your body feels willing, if there's no sense of dread or horror or rage or tightness or switching off, getting very distracted when you're trying to look back into the past, I invite you to imagine that somewhere along the timeline, there might be some things that happened for you this year that were hard, some things that you've lost, might be your hopes, might be your dreams, might be your plans and strategies, It might be even feel like you've lost pieces of yourself, or things like trust in the world, trust in the predictability, trust in the stability, maybe a sense of being protected in this world, a sense of knowing it. And notice, like just notice. And it might be very clear, things like that. And as you're noticing it, I invite you also to notice, how does your body feel? Your face and your throat and your lungs and your heart and your tummy and all those physical sensations. There might be some words coming up with those physical sensations, and there might be not. There might be a sense of sadness or mourning or acceptance or anger or actually worry or grief. All of it might be there, and it's all part of our human experience. And as you notice those pieces, I invite you to ask yourself, would you like to have, the needs or the hopes or the wishes or just the energy and time you put there to be back with you again? And maybe some of them are the ones that you want to put into boxes and archive there, or leave them there and acknowledge that they were and they're no more. And yet, if there's some things that attract your attention and you feel like there's something in them for you and you'd like to have them back, and they might have been like pieces of you that were chipped off by that collective trauma. There might be pieces other people have lost that you're also seeing, that were also chipped off by this collective trauma. I invite you to notice which ones you want to have back, or if there's generally a general desire to have them back. And if there is, I invite you to imagine, that you have big nets or some kind of lines that can reach for them, or a big magnet pulling them to you, and, or a loudspeaker, and you say on the loudspeaker, parts of me that I want to have back, please come back. Whatever it is that draws them back. And as you're imagining it, I invite you to notice how your body feels, if there's any sensations in the face, or throat, or chest, or your tummy. How does it feel? It might be that there was so much back there that you've lost any sensation, in which case we can come back to our feet or to our ribs and breathe. And capturing this experience, I also invite you to imagine that here in this webinar, we have this beautiful, crystal clear, big pool of our collective resource, collective energy, collective intention, where you can get as much energy from as you need for pulling those things back. And everyone will have enough, and however much you take, it's okay. Okay. So you can have these to draw on as well as you are doing this work. So with this resource, noticing your body and your breathing, I invite you to breathe in and breathe out. Notice your feet on the floor, and gradually notice your body in that room or that place where you're in. And breathing in, breathing out, I invite you to notice our virtual circle of all of us doing this work. And very gradually, as comfortable for you, I invite you to come back to our shared space as fast or as slow as you want to, and as it's comfortable, open your eyes. Here's where I invite you to find your piece of paper or something else to draw on, and your pen or something else to draw with. And as you're visualizing it, now you can imagine that that was your space and where you were and where those pieces were. And if you're not clear on what particular pieces they were, you can just do a tangle like we did. Just breathe in and out and invite the body sensations to flow in your drawing hand and do the tangle.